All of that to say, when they passed this whole gun reform in response to Bruen, they basically said, to take the words of one of the judges that struck down a provision, you can basically go out for a walk on a public sidewalk, hope that it doesn't turn into a park of sorts, because that's a sensitive space, and then go back home. The function of a concealed carry permit is dead. You cannot do anything. You could go out, go for a walk, and come back home. Now, the purpose of the concealed carry permit is irrelevant now that Bruen won at the Supreme Court level. Slowly, houses of worship came off of the sensitive places, or was changed from a sensitive place to a different kind of place, a better way to put it. And private businesses that are open to the public changed from, depending on the business, needing that sign to having some other stringencies. I don't want to divulge misinformation here, but you get where I'm saying. The function of a concealed carry permit is you're trusting so-and-so to use their better judgment to have a firearm on them, and it's concealed, and you have vetted and endowed them through the state's legislation and rights to carry that firearm. Now, I think the default position of you are not allowed versus you are allowed is infringing on the business owner's right to restrict. Who are you, state, to tell me that by default I'm saying no? I have to say no from the beginning. That's the way I view it. I understand some dissenters out there will view it in the terms of, who are you, state, to allow those people into my business? But I don't think that's really the case. It's very obvious that the state has a narrative they want to push. And the narrative is, we are against guns and we're going to put obstacles in as many places as possible to make it hard for gun owners. Like I said, as it stands post-Bruen, I have no objection, almost no objection, to New York City's intense application, vetting, and education process when it comes to owning a firearm. And a lot of gun owner associations would hang me for saying that. But listen, this is a very big responsibility. Now, but it doesn't change the fact that I know in the legislature, there are very much anti-gun in really any capacity, and trying to make it as hard as they possibly can. The Hawaii case is something I didn't look into the specifics of. I'm seeing just this comment fly by. I didn't look into the Hawaii case specifically, but it's obvious that this specific case will have implications across blue states for sure, and across the nation. That's a given. So that's my spiel on the Hawaii case that I wanted to touch on in particular. Jamal, I disagree with all the obstacles that New York State and City and the other anti-gun states. Listen, I would rather not be there for me because I think I'm a sane adult. I think the obstacles are, listen, Jamal, it makes sense that you have to take a gun safety course. It makes sense that you have to submit your fingerprints and go for a background check. It also makes sense that you should have somebody who is willing to take control of your firearm in the event that you are incapacitated or you leave us, you die, which every gun owner does have. They have a sort of a custodian in the event you're incapacitated. But like I said, the social media thing doesn't really rub me the right way. And let's say the ridiculousness of these sensitive places, or the default position being you're restricted from carrying in public places, that's a bridge too far for me.